Everybody has an opinion.
No, I don't think so.
I employ that bloke for when gigs are going bad.
You look incredibly rock and roll.
How would you cook that?
Be more entertaining. I'm glad you like that. It's a little bit of weed.
Hey.
Boom.
Episode 36, guys. Welcome back.
36.
I am back. The rumours are true. I did indeed give birth. And strangely, the baby came out looking like every single member of the Collingwood Football Club. Bit of a joke from last week, guys. No, I didn't have a baby. I was just feeling a bit unwell, but I'm back. Did you miss me?
We did. Oh, was that to the audience out there in the wild?
It tends to be what you talk about when you're podcasting.
I wasn't sure if it was to me or the person that's beside us.
Yes, our guest this week is Marty Fields. Hello.
Hey gang, how are you? Lovely to be here.
For those of you who've been under a rock, Marty's been cracking for, over 5 decades now. Your career's spanned from stand-up, television, radio and musical theatre. Your biggest credits, I'd say, Hey, It's Saturday, Blankety Blanks, Blue Heelers, which I've got some questions about. And, of course, everyone knows your voice on 3AW. Also a 2005 inductee into the Australian Comedy Hall of Fame. Welcome, Marty Fields.
It's lovely to be here. Thank you for inviting me.
Hurrah. Marty and I, and I'm not sure if you see Marty. In fact, you've brought it. Marty, you've actually, now that I'm thinking about it, you've come into this conversation before, not behind your back.
Yeah.
We've talked about you, and Lily runs into you at the chemist warehouse, and I see you riding your bike with your dog.
Yes, you do.
Down at MSAC.
Yes.
The Sports Aquatic Centre. So, yeah, you're a feature of South Melbourne.
Jeff Kaiser, who owns Kaiser Real Estate, calls me the king of South Melbourne because I'm around and I know everybody.
Yeah. But the king wouldn't know anybody, would he?
No.
No, he'd look down on everybody. But you do wave, so you're very benevolent. You are a benevolent king.
Okay, I'm a good guy.
Well, thank you.
Where do you want to go from?
Okay. Well, I know that you were just in Tasmania.
I was.
Yeah. Now, you weren't doing a gig, but you were scoping a gig. Is that right?
I was having a look around for a conference we're doing in December.
Yeah.
But it was fine, and I had to take the client around to all, because I actually lived in Hobart for 6 months.
Yep.
So I'm one of the few comedians who got out and did it and survived, but that was back in the 80s. Hobart's kicked on.
Has it?
It's still cold, but there's so much going on. Incredible. There's huge events happening, Mona, all that sort of stuff, but it's still freezing. And when I took them up to the top of Wellington, they wanted to do, a group tour up to, and they got out of the car and they said, "Oh, it's too cold." It's too cold. So Kia, don't go up to the top of Mount Wellington, just in case you own a Kia.
Oh, the car was talking to you.
Yeah. Well, no, the dude.
Oh, the guy. The dude that owns Kia.
Yeah, well, he doesn't own it, but he's up there.
Okay, so that was a Korean accent.
Do you like it?
Yeah.
I do lots of Asian. I can do different Asian. Like, Thai is different.
Yes.
And then, of course, they've got the trans Thai. The ladyboy in Thailand they should have a statue of them. In front of, I used to live with a ladyboy in Thailand, and it was tricky. I used to leave the toilet seat at 45 degrees.
That's right.
You don't know?
You just never know.
You're smart. Well done. So, Hobart. Hobart's got now, Lily, correct me, please, or help me here. It's not the Hobart Comedy Festival. It's the Comedy Festival of Hobart. It's like the People's Front of Judea and the Judean People's Front. But they've mixed it up. Anyway, Lily corrected me last time, but yes, I believe I'm right.
I'll believe that too. Now, Marty, you've been on Blue Heelers.
I know.
But you've been on Blue Heelers across a 10-year period.
Yeah.
And you played 5 different characters.
Yeah, I know. I was pretty unmemorable.
Did they change casting directors or what happened?
No. 2 of them I was like angry, dude next door. One of them I was with Rusty from the Scared Weirdies.
Yeah.
We
Rusty
were the
Bertha.
Ratton Brothers, and our slogan was Ratton Brothers, that's the name. That name again is Ratton Brothers. We were great, and we killed somebody and we didn't know because we smashed into them with our car, but we didn't stop.
Oh.
And then the second last appearance, I was lying under a tree dead, so I played a dead body.
Okay.
And then suddenly they were looking for somebody to be the new bloke who comes into Healers. as the new sort of senior police guy underneath John Wood, and I auditioned, and he was an arsehole, this guy. He's like a pedophile and meanie and horrible and everything.
The director?
No.
No,
the
character. Okay, good.
And I came in and delivered every line with a smile, which is what meanies do, basically. So got the gig, and I was in it for quite a while as the new sort of underling to Tom, but nobody knew all this stuff was going on underneath. And eventually they found me. Some parent killed me, and I got burnt alive.
Oh, my God.
It's double jeopardy. I mean, you'd already died, so they couldn't kill you again, could they?
I was like a cat. I had 9 lives. I got through 4 and the show was cancelled.
Oh, right. Yeah, someone started spotting. They probably had that red thread trail on their board with the photographs. So hang on here. This guy looks too similar.
A series, you've got to get up early.
Oh,
and I don't do early.
How early are we talking? Like 4 or 5?
Yeah, you've got to be on set at 6.
And that's why all this. It's all set to look like it's dusk, but it's actually filmed in the morning.
When I did Flying Doctors, we shot it out near Minyip, which was sort of just north of Horsham, and you'd be on set at 6:30 in the morning, and it was colder than a witch's tit, and they used to get us to suck on ice so we didn't blow steam when we were talking.
Whiz. Yeah, right.
That was years ago.
That's a good little trick. Didn't know that.
That is that's a film, a bit of movie magic.
Suck on ice.
Suck on a bit of ice. Not your only crazy TV movie credit. You're in Ghost Rider with Nicolas Cage.
Yeah, not a TV movie, a feature film. But
feature film.
Yeah, I was a cop, and that was funny because we shot about 12 scenes, and about 8 of them finished up on the cutting room floor because the movie ran way too long. So I was a guy who arrested him, put him in jail, went back to the office and sat down and ate my dinner and watched him on the videos, and then he breaks out. He burns his way through the bars of the cell, and I have to rush out after him. And what they did was they cut all that, and he makes his way out of the bars and runs down the stairs, and then suddenly I'm running after him. And anyone who watched the film was like, "Who's this tired old queen running after him?"
Right.
And then he judges me because that was what Ghost Rider did. And apparently I was pure of soul, but then he burst into flames and took off. All of that took 3 nights in the middle of June in Carlton, and it was so cold.
Wow.
And I was in a short sleeve shirt, just a cotton shirt.
Yep.
I can't remember being as cold. And I've done seasons up at the snow.
Yeah.
It was just tough.
And a Golden Gate time.
A nice
in
gig.
Your mouth.
And, I had to hit him with my baton twice.
Yeah.
Oh.
And the first time it was like, that's for the movie you did where you changed faces with John Travolta.
Face Off.
And now you can, that's it. And now you can hit me back for Raising Arizona. It was pretty cool. And now I'm going to hit you for that stupid Bird Mantle of Alcatraz bullshit. And then you can hit me back for something that I liked.
Yeah, right. Oh, that's great.
Yeah. Nice guy.
He's a nice guy.
He's got plugs, though.
Oh, yeah.
Hair plugs, big time.
Blind Freddie can tell he's got hair plugs,
exactly.
mate.
But we got on quite well.
Fascinating. And just to remind myself of the movie, he drove a motorbike. He was a ghost. He was a skeleton. And what was he doing? Was he trying to capture bad people?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
And he used to judge people. He had the capacity to judge their moral, goodness.
Oh, okay.
But acting, dancing, singing, all that sort of stuff, piano playing, all that jazz is only as a result of my father's advice when I was very young was do everything you possibly can because you'll never be out of work.
Yeah. And that's Maurie Fields, ladies and gentlemen, that you just heard.
Yeah.
And that's amazing. And Maurie Fields was a big feature of South Melbourne as well.
Oh, my word. Albert Park more so.
More so, yeah.
Yeah. And we're moving into Albert Park soon once our house is finished.
Wow. I'll still see you on the bike with the dog.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, great.
Your childhood must have been just full of song and dance and wildness. Yeah, just beautiful, fun times.
It
right?
was.
You started playing in piano bars at 14.
Yeah, that's true.
What venues were hiring a 14-year-old?
You got to think back to the 70s. There was no PCs. There was no woke. There was no,
That must have been so much fun. No?
Yeah, it was, but you got to live in the present and realize back then that it was just what you did. The way it worked was there was a guy who played at the Prince of Wales in Fitzroy Street. His name was the Tortoise, and he played great piano, didn't sing, and fancied a drink. And one night he came down the stairs from the Prince of Wales piano bar sort of thing, and instead of turning right or left, he walked straight ahead and he walked into the path of a tram.
Oh.
Now, because he had no family and he had no ID on him, they didn't know who he was. And he wasn't dead, but he wasn't well. And he didn't turn up the next night.
Oh.
So the publican rang Dad and they said, do you know a piano bloke who can come down and play? At that exact moment, Dad was on the phone to the publican at Prince of Wales. I walked in from my rugby training covered in mud at Brighton Grammar, walked in the front door and Dad said, you want to go and play piano down at the Prince of Wales? And I said, absolutely. So from 5:30 to 6 o'clock, I had a shower. I got into my velour suit.
Yeah.
It was fabulous. It was blue. I looked great. Put a tie on and he drove me down and I did 4 hours and I lasted there for 8 months.
Wow.
And I was 14, so I was going to Brighton Grammar, which was one of the most prestigious schools in Australia. Amongst all these, hoity-toities and playing sport and learning and, blah, blah, blah. And then come home, get changed and go to this bar, which back in those days, like it's pretty upper end now, the Prince of Wales, but back then it was a shithole. And there were, drug dealers and prostitutes and stuff, and they all became my friends, which is how I got familiar with the underworld and friends of mine, and I knew all the heavies. And I went from there to the Champion in Fitzroy, which was a pub where the Indigenous friends of ours in Fitzroy used to drink, but also so did the workers who were building back then the housing commissions. So there was the whites and the blacks, and blues happened all the time. There was one night I was 15, I hid in the grand piano with the lid down while the blue happened, simply because I wasn't scared of the fight. It was all the glasses and bottles that were flying everywhere.
Wow.
And sort of worked my way up to finish at the Council Club in South Melbourne, which is on the corner of York Street and Cecil Street. And they used to write my name on the chalkboard out the front. Tonight, Marty Fields. And I used to do 4 nights a week. And this was during my HSC year, which is, they don't call it that now. What do they call it now?
VCA.
VCA, yeah. So I was doing 4 nights a week at the Council Club, working at the Painters and Dockers. It was their pub, and got to know all those guys, all those gangsters and stuff. And it was a fantastic learning curve because, again, there was trouble all the time, but it was also lovely to meet all these people. And that's, I suppose, where my humour comes from these days. I'm sort of like a stand-up chameleon. I can look at an audience and say, this is exactly what they'll want. I'll adjust my material to suit them.
Yeah, right.
And one night, John Newman from Tiki and John's, we'd been staying down at his place at St. Leonard's, and he dropped me off on a Saturday night to play at the Council Club, and he saw my name and he said, never forget that you once had your name up in chalk. People want their name up in lights. And he said, that's impressive. But then I said back to him, yeah, but every time it rains, I lose my billing.
Good.
Yeah, it's true. And it just sort of went from there. And then eventually, through my piano bar career, I got a job working as the musical director for Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, and that went around Australia for 2 years. Then back to Melbourne. Then I picked it up again a few years later. And they were real dwarfs, and they were all mental.
I was about to ask.
Yeah, totally. And it was a great show, but it was hard work because we did 21 one-nighters in a row at one stage. And part of my deal was that apart from being the piano player, it was just me and a drummer. So musical director was kind of a bit of a, a colourful badge that meant nothing. I had to bump in and bump out. So we'd get there, I'd bump all the stuff into the theatre, set up, and go back to the hotel, and then come back to the show, do 2 or 3 shows because gig shows don't last that long, but you do plenty of them. and then bump out before I could come back and rest, and then we'd be off again. So it taught me how to tour and how to be resilient to all the challenges that you find on the road and just stop being irritated by them and find them funny. That was a big lesson. I think if you can learn a lot of lessons between your age of 0 and 30, then your age from 30 plus will be a lot less troublesome.
I'm just getting flashbacks of you, obviously not in a school uniform, but it would have been very Angus Young of you to be there in your Brighton Grammar outfit in a pub, little cap.
No, I used to change.
No, but in my mind, no, you're an Angus Young on the piano.
That. No, I didn't look like that. I didn't shake my head up and down because I get vertigo.
You didn't do sort of a sidestep hop?
But the thing is, the great thing about my vibe was that I have something called absolute pitch, which means that if I hear something, I can play it. Perfect pitch, all that sort of stuff. So my request repertoire went massive, which really helped when I went to Vegas in 83. I didn't have a green card, but I lived on tips because people would come in from the casino. Can you play this? Can you play that? Yes, I can.
Right.
And your tips were massive, so I was earning a fortune and
the
losing a lot in the
statute of limitations is around 5 years, so they're not going to burst down the door after that.
I can't go back to America now because of my opinion on Trump.
I'm sure I don't think anyone in Australia can, really.
I keep calling him Fantaface, which apparently he doesn't like.
No, fair enough.
And my vibe on everything that he does, we won't get into it today, but I've never seen somebody I've never met anybody who every decision in their life was first dictated by how it would affect them.
Yeah.
That's the vibe.
Yeah. Narcissism,
But and I moved into comedy. Like I was always doing jokes at the piano and stuff, but I think it was about, 84, 85. I was working up at Mount Buller and I was dragging a laughingly portable keyboard up the snow because the taxi wouldn't take me up. And I was dragging it up to the wit and I'm thinking, there's got to be more to life than this shit. And I started doing stand-up and just left the piano behind and got involved in stand-up back in the mid-'80s. Officially. Although I'd been doing jokes for the previous 8 years anyway.
Yeah. Wonderful.
All right. Crack into some news.
Let's do some news.
Hooray!
But we'll come back to a lot of the stories, and I'd love to talk. We are definitely going to talk about that gun in the boot story.
Oh, yeah, cool.
ABC chief Hugh Marks has issued an apology to Gina Reinhart for a joke made on race around the world, even though the ABC editorial policy team and the Ombudsman found no wrongdoing. Only 8 complaints were received in the week following the broadcast. However, after the issue was driven further by criticism within the Australian newspaper, another 988 complaints were then lodged. Billionaires 1, Australian satire 0.
Ah, yes. It's awful. The Business of Comedy Conference, we specifically, the first day at the lunch, we specifically had a keynote by Scott Diggers, formerly of The Onion, in fact, founded The Onion, and he was talking about how important satire is to a healthy democracy. And that is case in point.
100%.
Right? It is disgusting, and everyone that is within the comedy space should be fearful because it means the likes of, your Doug Anthony All-Stars, your D-Generations, and even your front bars.
Yeah.
Your
Auntie Donna's, all those sort of people.
Absolutely.
And it's the fact that there were that's a very low number of complaints. Lots of shows receive complaints all the time. 8 after the week of broadcast is quite low. And the fact that the Australian then pushed it home and got almost 1,000 extra complaints is so biased and so uncool.
That's right. I think you've probably got about 800 email accounts under your name anyway, right? I mean,
yeah, you're one to talk. Okay.
So maybe we write in and
by our powers combined. Daniel Muggleton is on tour across Australia with his latest show, White Here, White Now. Over 7,000 people saw the show during this year's Melbourne International Comedy Festival run. And this tour will hit more than 20 locations across Australia and New Zealand, winding up at the Tuning Fork in Auckland in December.
I'm a big fan of Daniel. I like his politics. I like his political takes. He's also very smart, very witty, sharp. He's well known for wearing a Adidas, or for the American listeners, Adidas tracksuit.
Red trackie.
Red trackie. Sometimes he does get a blue one occasionally.
Yes.
I think there's been a yellow, although he is stepping into the Nelson Twins area.
Territory.
Yeah, territory for those yellow. Had him at the Rubber Chicken once. Would have loved to have had him more. It's interesting when you meet comedians that you've only seen on social media and then you meet them in person and they're way taller. And Daniel Muggleton is a tall man. Marty, you're a tall man. How tall are you?
I'm 6 foot tall, or 183 in the old.
Ah, okay. So I reckon Marty's the kind of person who's shorter than he appears. Because I always thought you were about 6'3".
No.
You're always looming over me, though.
That's more a vibe.
Yeah.
It's the vibe, man. Bendigo Comedy Festival has announced their gala on October 7 at the Engine Room Theatre. Some big names include Simon Taylor, Ivan Aristeguieta.
Yeah, that's pretty good, yeah.
Yeah. Danielle Walker and Ting Lim.
Yeah, Singaporean, I believe.
Yes.
Yeah.
Had her for Girls Just Want to Have Puns.
Yeah.
And, of course, the hardest working comedian in Australia, no offence, Marty, Dave O'Neill.
Would you say that, Marty? That,
No.
Who is, aside from yourself, obviously, who is the hardest working comedian?
I think Hughesy
Oh, yeah.
does a lot of work, does a lot of stuff. His work ethic is insane.
Right.
And it's good.
Yeah. And he seems to have a good family life. Like people, work to get away from family, but he talks, he says wonderful things about his kids and his
and so
his
he
wife.
should.
Yeah.
Also-
Family is everything.
The great thing about Dave, I've had a bunch of people I know who run, not super professional rooms, and they'll reach out and say, hey, would you like to do a spot? Dave's always keen, Hughesy, is always keen to jump on, smaller rooms. He loves the stage time. He just genuinely enjoys it. So.
In fact, he jumped on Hard Knock Knocks last month.
Yeah.
For the Hard Knock Knocks comedy course, and he was the headliner. So, yeah, very generous. As you have also, Marty. I have to throw that to the audience
Every
as well.
March.
Yeah, every March. I would love that to be a thing for
It's
every...
a thing.
It's
Yeah.
a thing. It's a thing now. Great.
It's already a thing.
You heard it first here.
Crazy Marty March madness.
Yeah.
So you guys are doing news.
Yeah.
I've got news.
Yeah.
Because I look at the news all the time.
Yeah.
Here's one I found out. In North Dakota in the US, a hunter narrowly escaped death when a pocket knife in his breast pocket deflected a bullet shot by another hunter. You know you're in a country that has too many weapons when you're shot in the knife.
Not my knife.
Yeah, and that was his probably. Well, he probably had a number of knives on him. Probably had an ankle knife, and he one on his back.
Yeah.
and
It was just his bullet deflecting knife.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it.
I did the Greyhound trip in my 20s. I've travelled from Missouri down to Atlanta in Florida. It was I think 28 hours or something. The vehicle stopped, but I didn't get out and sleep. I was on the bus the whole time. But back then you could travel. This was the 2000s, early 2000s. I had a Swiss Army knife in my top pocket, and it wasn't to protect myself. It was just practical.
Scout?
Yeah, I was a scout, sure. And I remember we're in the middle of Arkansas and wheat belt around. Arkansas, yeah. And I remember going in thinking, oh, what am I going to eat? So I bought a can of tuna, but it was the ones, it probably had a ring pull, but I used the blade, the thickest blade, as a spoon.
You're like Bear Grylls.
Very Bear Grylls in the back of this Greyhound bus. And I was the only white person on this bus, I will add. Everyone was African-American. And this African-American guy, one of the other passengers, literally turned around. I hadn't said boo to anyone. And he had never heard my voice. And he goes, are you Australian? Because I had a knife.
Wow.
That's not a knife. This is a knife stereotype. Yeah. And I'm like, well, yes, I am.
To be fair, I'm surprised you didn't turn around and say, are you an asshole? Because who opens a can of tuna in a bus? That's just heinous.
I might have opened it outside.
Horrible. There's so many options to eat in a bus and you chose tuna. Selfish. Queensland Fringe has sold out its inaugural 2-day Toowoomba program at the Empire Theatre Precinct. Organisers are now considering expanding the event into a 4-week citywide event.
Great.
I grew up in Toowoomba, so I think they'd love it.
I don't think you've ever grown up, but fantastic.
All right, it's one of those episodes. Okay.
No, I've got more.
Oh, you did miss me.
I've got more news. A Brighton cat was the first cat in Australia to undergo surgical hip replacement, which was just several $1,000s more than the more common practice of total cat replacement. And the designer of most hotel rooms has died at his funeral before they began. They had to move a bed, a cabinet, and 9 pews to find the PowerPoint to plug in the organ.
I don't think you're taking this too seriously, Marty.
No,
You're throwing jokes in there.
No,
We're
don't say that.
Serious. No. Well done to Queensland for bringing jokes back because wasn't it in Queensland where the Queensland Arts Department or the Arts the Arts Department said that stand-up comedy was not an art form.
That's right, they did too.
Right.
Getting a bit political, Count Binface is going after Nigel Farage in the by-election in the UK.
Yes, that is right in the UK.
Yeah. He's from Sigma 9. Countess Binface is his wife and his little binlings. Farage is a multi-millionaire backed by billionaires. No other party is running against Farage because his only competitor is a bin.
Now, that might sound like a load of nonsense, but it's true. This Count Binface runs for a lot of events. So you do have, in many situations, you have all of the people that ran for a particular seat, including the Prime Minister of the UK, in a picture with a guy who's dressed up as a superhero with a bin for a head.
What?
That's UK. Now, again, back to Gina Reinhardt. She can't take a joke because someone talked about her being mashed up like a sausage roll, and the Prime Minister of the UK has to stand with a bin beside him. Come on, Australia.
Australia has become so conservative, man.
What has happened? It's ridiculous.
And a bit of import-export for you.
Just imports, no exports?
Aziz Ansari is bringing his new stand-up show, Hypothetical, to Auckland, Sydney, Brisbane and Melbourne. The 4-date tour runs from the 24th of September to the 1st of October. What's he in?
He is in Parks and Recreation.
That's right.
And probably the biggest name from that is Chris Pratt.
Yeah, sure.
Who was like the chubby, funny guy. And then he, took some peptides and he just thickened out and became, the next hottest man in Hollywood, didn't he?
Yeah. I was totally not related, but I saw the new Spider-Man. And do you know it took Tom Holland 14 months to get back to his Spider-Man condition, which is still hardly anything. Anyway,
right. Yeah,
14 months and he's not very muscly.
No, that's right. Well, anyway, Aziz is coming to Australia.
Yeah, he'll bring his guns. Bring your guns, Aziz.
He's got one of those very annoying high-pitched voices, though. I don't know if I could do a whole, hour and a half show.
Listening to that.
Sorry, Aziz, but if you want to come on to this podcast and explain
bring that.
yourself.
Marty has that pitch thing, so you can tell us exactly what that whiny pitch is.
What chord it is that he's speaking?
Yeah, I can do that. I can do that easily.
Import-export. Anyone else coming to town?
Bobby Lee, American comedian Bobby Lee.
Now, he's Korean, Marty, so behave yourself.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
And he's doing his first solo Australian tour, the Finally Tour, starting in Melbourne on the 14th of August with shows in Sydney and Brisbane, and he's wrapping it up on the 23rd of August in Auckland.
I'm looking forward to him getting blown away because he pronounces this town Melbourne, which means he's never been here before. And I think when a lot of Americans come to Melbourne, everyone, they expect something and they get something completely different. Yeah. So good one, Bobby. And again, Bobby Lee, if you want to come out on the podcast.
That's it, man. We'll have you.
We'll have you, yeah.
And in exports, the Edinburgh Fringe is underway, and it feels like pretty much everyone in the Australian comedy industry has traded some Vegemite for some haggis.
Yeah.
Get ready. We've got Jared Goundry, Jeremy Dooley, Zach Riley, Sammy J, Alice Fraser, Frankie McNair, Casey Phillips, John Glank, Jimmy Rees, Tom Ballard, Tom Cashman, Lizzie Hu, and Zachary Ruan. There's heaps more.
I think it was Josh Glank, but you may have said John Glank, but that's good. Josh is a very funny man. He's a total nonsense character. Also gets up there in a tracksuit similar to Dan.
What colour?
All over, but wacky. Elliot Goblet, or Jack Levi, the man behind Elliot Goblet, is a man who does not laugh at things very often, and he says that Josh Glank is one of the funniest men that he's ever seen doing stand-up.
High praise indeed.
Yeah.
Jimmy Rees and Lizzie Hu are making their Edinburgh debuts, while Zachary Ruan is making his first solo debut.
Now, Zachary's from Auntie Donna, right?
Auntie Donna.
Yeah, so he's one of the three. There's Mark, there's Zach, and there's
Broden.
Never get in the kiln.
Okay.
Right.
Broden.
And they're all, I know Broden does a little bit of stand-up as well. Yeah. I haven't seen Mark do any.
No, I don't
at this
believe
point.
so.
No, but he's a good actor and he's been in a couple of movies. In fact, he's been in a movie, a comedy, a wizard comedy with Stig Weems.
Stig Weems,
Your
who filled in
understudy.
for me. Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Well, that's the end of that. Thank the Lord. I'm thirsty.
Get on the beers. That's appropriate. Just do it.
Well, let's enjoy this beer, and I want to ask you some questions about Guns in a Boot. Now, this is our sponsor. They've thank you very much, Bridge Road Brewers, for sending us over through the postal service. By the way,
Really?
Yeah, the postie turned up drunk with only 4 beers. I'm pretty sure you sent a slab, Bridge Road, but thank you. We got 4 of them, and the one we're testing today is
Coffee stout.
Wow. And it says, featuring Super Brazil blend. I assume that's
interesting.
the coffee.
355ml, 5.1. Family and employee owned. That's awesome. A decadent stout with caramel and chocolate notes infused with Genovese's Super Brazil blend.
Oh.
All right. Well, I've pre-poured mine because as a bartender, I know a stout needs to settle. It definitely...
Oh. That's.
What do you reckon?
Are we allowed to be honest, or do we have to?
No, we pride ourselves on honesty.
All right, here we go. And I keep in mind, I don't drink beer. I don't drink stout. I drink other things. So I'm going to try it now.
Marty Fields, everybody, says, no, he says nothing. He makes a facial expression that resembles constipation.
If you asked me to take another sip, I would rather give birth to a porcupine on fire.
Well, I think
Me.
this is like the espresso martini of beers. I
was
love
about
it.
to say that.
I
You
love
like it?
I would. I think on tap as well. This would be even better.
Jesus.
I
would
really like
like
that.
to comb my head with a cheese grater or chewing on alfoil.
You could make a cocktail out of this very easily. Actually.
I got a lot of tales about cocks.
It is 1.4 drinks, which means that
It's 5.1.
5.1. So it's
But a can of Jack and Coke is more than that. It's 1.6 and it actually tastes all right. But I'm not going to abuse them because good on them. They're an Aussie company and that's fantastic. If you can get people to enjoy that,
Oh no.
then you are a greater salesman than Donald Trump.
Different strokes. I really quite enjoy. I'm actually going to consider making a cocktail. In fact,
By the way,
I would put Frangelico with this. Wild take
getting
there.
kickback.
To be fair, I'd put Frangelico with anything. But this with a bit of Frangelico as an affogato, bit of ice cream in this, yum. Dessert beer.
that is some grim shit.
now,
Anyway, that's just me.
There is a logo on, so the Bridge Road Brews. People have asked me, is Bridge Road
In Richmond?
Richmond? Or no, actually, it's from, and why they have a symbol of Ned Kelly's helmet as part of the logo. Bridge Road, the A of Bridge of Road, is a Ned Kelly helmet because the origin traces back to a shed located on Bridge Road in Beechworth, Victoria, which
Good
is
spot.
A lovely spot. And also, did he live there or he didn't die? He didn't get shot there. He didn't die there either. He died in Melbourne.
He used
Jail.
to vote there.
That was his, yeah. I don't think he did much voting. I think he was too busy dealing with squatters and...
Imagine how uncomfortable that hat he used to wear.
Oh,
The sweat.
Yeah.
I think he only wore it for one battle.
And if you pissed him off, imagine just banging it with a hammer.
Oh.
You know, that.
To be fair, he only got taken down because of the weight of the armor. So it's a true Shakespearean tragedy, you know, where your one thing that you're known for is your ultimate downfall.
Hamlet.
See, as a gamer, that's a skill issue. That's a
Mind
skill
you,
issue.
mates of mine think Hamlet is a menu item at McDonald's.
Right.
I got
Double
to hang
cheese
out with
Hamlet?
sharper people. All right, ask me about the guns in the boot.
Yes.
I've got a 4-year-old in the boot not getting any fresher, so I've got to get out of here.
So I remember at the Rubber Chicken, we sat down over a bourbon and Coke.
Yes.
And you mentioned a gun that had been moved around South Melbourne, may or may not have been involved in a crime.
Yeah, that is true, and we're sort of outside the
Statute of limitation.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, the Rubber Chicken on the corner of Cecil and Park Street used to be 1,000 iterations before, was called Druids, and it was owned by Smacker Fitzgibbon, a good mate of Dad's. So Dad used...
Morry Street and Park.
What did I say?
You said Cecil and...
Oh, I'm an idiot.
Yeah,
so,
that's right.
It's
That's
Morry.
right.
And Dad used to drink there, and it was where Billy Longley shot Pat Shannon.
That's right.
I think he went to jail, so we don't even have to say allegedly.
No, that's right.
But the gun at the time was a pretty hot item, and it finished up in Dad's boot of the gold Premier that he used to drive around. So Dad used to drive me to Brighton Grammar, alluded to earlier, with this freaking murder weapon in the boot. And then one day this young kid came around and grabbed it off him. That young kid, Mark Brandon Reed.
Oh, my God.
Came and grabbed it off.
Chopper Reed.
Yeah.
Wow.
And grabbed that gun off Dad. But Dad knew so many gangsters and stuff because as Dad got more famous, all these hard blokes used to come around and say, listen, mate, you're going to be, people are going to be coming to you wanting money and shit. Here's a handgun. Here's a rifle. Here's this. So Dad he didn't want to say no. So he had this huge collection of guns that he never used. So when we renovated the house, which is still happening at the moment, we found guns behind the wardrobe, in the basement, in the cellar, in the walls.
Yeah, wow.
And I did a podcast with my friend Mark Rule, Andrew Rule, from the Herald Sun, and we were pulling down the curtains. And there's coins that you have to hold down the curtains.
Yeah.
The old days, there's
The
slugs.
weights. Yeah.
Dad had put bullets in there
Oh, God.
that they'd given him to hold the weight of the curtains down.
Wow. There is another podcast called Fool Me Twice with Bradford Oakes and Steve Van Apron. We should get you on there because you might help them solve some crimes.
I could.
Yeah.
I mean, the Carl Williams organisation, I use that term loosely, used to use me for quite a few of their functions, so I knew a lot of those guys too. And every time you saw Nicola Gobbo or Carl Williams on TV, it was always me hosting Dakota's christening or something. You'd see me standing next to these people. And when my daughter, who's now 22, back then she was at kindergarten and they had this big, huge news thing and current affair thing about Carl and everything. And all the news was me standing there talking and blah, blah, blah. And they were like, oh, keep away from him. He's dangerous, this sort of shit. But at the end of the day, they're just people. And I got on really well with all of them. I got him, and still do, get on very well with Roberto.
Well, not Carl, obviously. But
No, Carl's gone.
gone.
He's, as Dennis Walton, my friend at AW, would say, he's ridden on ahead.
Right, fair enough. So you could have played yourself in Underbelly.
I could have, but I didn't look enough like Carl. And Guyton Grantley did a great job.
Oh, no, I was playing, you play yourself because obviously when he was alive,
Yeah.
you were there.
Oh, yeah, in Underbelly, they actually went to that. Yeah.
Yeah, you could have played yourself.
I'll tell you a little backstory. A lot of people don't know. That christening was going to be the point where the Morans killed a lot of them.
Oh.
But the Piranha Task Force caught wind of it and went and arrested them at, what was the name of the bar? In King Street. Can't remember. It doesn't matter. They went and picked them up and they were across the road from Crown with King Street, these bars in Mega Bar. They were at Mega Bar steadying to go over the road and kill everybody.
Wow.
And the Piranha Task Force picked them up, which would have put an interesting slant on the christening. By the way, as a side note, where should we have the christening, Your Worship? Let's have it at Crown.
The most holy of places.
Yeah, exactly.
Crown
Yeah.
Casino, for those who haven't picked up on that. Crazy. And, of course, Crown Casino got wrapped over the knuckles multiple times for its organised crime connections and
Different. So that was more about the Asian high rollers and they were
not the underworld.
Not
Or
really.
That
no.
underworld, right.
They weren't really concerned with getting rid of money that was hot because most of their money came from people who were already hot. Yeah. So they certainly spent a lot of their time at the casino.
Yeah, fair enough. Well, I mean, we are sitting in a studio here in South Melbourne. And I've got a few friends who are slightly older, quite a significant amount older than me, telling the stories of how someone would walk into a pub, fire 4 shots, 50 people were not in the bar at the time, all 50 people were in the toilet.
Yeah.
That's a kind of normal South Melbourne situation.
Indeed. I mean, I played at the Council Club here in South Melbourne in 1979, which was the Painters and Dockers pub.
Right.
And somebody fired a gun. Some bloke from Adelaide who thought he was hard came in and got thrown out. So he went to his car and got a shotgun and fired a round through the window, and the window blew open. And rather than everybody hit the dirt and everybody get the shits, like I was playing piano at a grand piano right beside two swinging barn door between the bar and the saloon.
Yeah.
And they blew open from the shot.
Wow.
But instead of everybody freaking out, they all went out the front and grabbed the gun off him, knowing that he'd only shot one round.
Right.
He had another round to go, but you had to recock it. They took it off him and smashed his head in with the gun, and he finished up in hospital, this bloke. Never saw him again in Melbourne. And there were very serious Sydney gangsters who used to come down to Melbourne and go back to Sydney and say, the business is good in Sydney, but Melbourne, they run hot down there.
All right. Yeah, and God, the pianist is amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, it was fun. Like, it's a colourful life growing up in the industry.
Yeah, so different now.
Oh, very sanitised.
The rent's 5 times higher than it needs to be, but we need a good shooting, I think.
Yeah.
Not that you rent, of course. What would you need?
Wow. Maurie coming out with all the solutions for what society needs. A bit of history.
Go for it.
Let's do it. On the 6th of August, 1911, Lucille Ball was born. Obviously, she became the star and the producer of I Love Lucy. She was also the first woman to own a major television studio after buying Desilu off her husband and ran it very successfully. There's a great documentary, I think it was about Star Trek, actually. It's about the old Trekkers, but it goes into a lot of the old Desilu productions.
You mentioned in the previous episode about her death and not her.
What can I say?
Yeah.
It's a good one.
I think it was the Stephen Hall episode.
There you go.
Are you finished with Lucy? Because I've got a bit I can add on.
Please.
Not a natural redhead.
Ooh.
She was a brunette, and she did a few movies, and the studio dyed her head red when they decided to do the first colour film with her, and she took off as a redhead, and she continued to dye her hair red for the rest of her career.
Oh, wow. As someone who used to dye my hair red, it's so damaging. Can't imagine doing that my whole life. There you go. 10th of August, 1948, Candid Camera made its television debut. Alan Funt's hidden camera comedy began on ABC under its original radio title, Candid Microphone. They obviously renamed it Candid Camera the following year, and it established that sort of practical joke format that we still see today. 6th of August 1951, your mate, Daryl Summers, was born in Geelong. Summers was obviously the longtime host and executive producer of Hey Hey It's Saturday. He won 3 gold Logies during the show's run, and he turned 75 on the 6th. Happy birthday.
Apart from doing Hey Hey with Daz for 7 years, we are both patrons of the Lost Dogs Home.
Yes.
I heard.
Yeah.
You also look after bears as well.
Yes, I do. One of my passions is animals. I love animal causes and looking after animals and stuff like that. And one of the things I do is Animals Asia, which is a fantastic organisation who rescue bears who are trapped in bear bile farms.
Yes.
Because a lot of countries in China and other countries in Asia feel that tapping the bile out of the liver of bears is an aphrodisiac, like they're fucking running out of Asians. So what they decided to do was do this and trap them for their lives. And we basically, instead of telling them they're doing the wrong thing, because you can't tell people their culture is wrong, you simply offer them monetary compensation. That's where the donations go. And then we take the bears and we've built these sanctuaries in Vietnam and Korea and in China. And I run 6 bears, basically. I look after them.
Wow.
And yeah, they're fantastic.
Aww.
What about human bile? I mean, it's important, all right? People have get their bile What? No, so the gallbladder removed, don't they?
Yeah, they do.
So can we send that over to Asia and do a swap?
Well, the gallbladder doesn't create bile.
No.
It just holds bile.
Oh, okay.
Whereas your liver creates bile.
9th of August, 1968, Eric Bana was born, the Melbourne-born performer.
We're just talking about Chopper Read.
Erika Bavanovich, a friend of mine, and he first started his career in comedy, a great stand-up. And it's interesting he's left that behind, become a serious actor. And I actually associate the acting career with the fact that he's a very good-looking boy. And it's very difficult to be a good-looking comedian. Trust me, any seriously good comedian, head like a bucket of arseholes. Let's face it. Seriously.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's no seriously good-looking comedians.
Who's that Rife guy, the American guy? He's sexy, but he's also a misogynist. But
Yeah, but also I wouldn't say he's one of the great comedians, you know. Yeah, you're
okay.
right. When they get too good looking, it's like, fuck you, funny boy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because let me tell you some science behind comedy, and I'm not saying you don't know it, but it's just an interesting sort of perspective. People like to laugh downhill.
uh-huh.
So if you're richer, smarter, better looking, blah, 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 they will find you intimidating subconsciously, audiences. Right. You need to present as somebody more flawed than they are. That way you garner their sympathy. Look back 400 years, the jester in a king's court was probably the smartest person in the room because he avoided being killed, making fun of things. But he used to wear a funny hat in his head and dance around like he was an idiot.
Yeah.
So he would not get the wrath of people, but think, oh, that was funny. But, give him a break. He's a dickhead.
Yeah.
That's how comedy really works. That's the psychology of comedy. And a kid said to me once, I was working at the Sydney Comedy Store, and I could tell you who it was, but I don't want to embarrass them. They said to me, and they got off, and he's a good-looking boy, and he does material about driving a good car, having a pretty girlfriend, all that sort of stuff. And he said to me, do you think I'm a good comic? And I said, you know what? I think you're a good comedian. And he said, what's the difference? And I said, well, comedians say funny things. Comics say things funny. It's different.
Right. Oh, well, there we go. So a compliment to Eric Bana for being a good-looking bloke.
He is a good-looking bloke.
Yeah. And what a great actor in Chopper, the movie Chopper.
Extraordinary. Like having known Chop quite well.
Yeah.
I was floored by Banner's. Eric put on like 25 kegs to play the role.
Amazing.
It's fabulous.
And he cut his ears off.
A little bit.
Probably not. No. Bradford Oakes, we've mentioned him a few times. He says that people who do the Chopper Read impersonation aren't doing the Chopper Read impersonation. They're doing the Eric Bana doing the Chopper Read impersonation. Would you say that?
Yeah, I do agree.
Okay. So it's like a photocopy of a photocopy. It's not quite the original.
Yeah.
Yeah.
August 9, 1989, Acropolis Now premiered, created by and starring Nick Giannopoulos, George Kapinaris and Simon Palomares. Far out, what a bunch of wogs. The Australian sitcom grew out of Wogs Out of Work. It ran for 63 episodes.
Fantastic. And your generation would have been quite a white generation.
Sure.
And then the Greeks and Italians came in.
Yeah.
And would you say that Wogs Out of Work and Acropolis Now and all of these ethnic comedies kind of helped unite Australia?
Yeah, I think so. I think multiculturalism is how we built our society. There's no doubt about it. I mean, when I grew up in Albert Park, it was 85% Greek.
Yeah.
Let's finish on a death. I love a good death.
Trust me, I know a lot of comics. Go on.
11th of August 2014, Robin Williams died at the age of 63.
What a genius.
Yeah, he was a genius. He'd stand up, Mork and Mindy, Good Morning Vietnam, Mrs. Doubtfire. I loved, Patch Adams. Loved him in Patch Adams.
Yeah.
Died by suicide, obviously. Not much to say.
So I met him.
Did you?
Yeah, I met him in LA. My friend Alan Zavod, who was a musical director here in Australia but also worked in the US quite a lot, he knew him and introduced me. And we sat around and what did we drink? We drank something really weird, like Campari or something. It's freaking hideous. And he ordered it for all of us. And we were sitting around and he was saying, I got so many phone calls I got to make a lot of phone calls. He spoke really fast, right? What happened was when he used to get on the juice, he'd get on stage And then because he rambled, if you ever saw him live, he would just blah, 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 blah. And often he would think of something from somebody else, another comic, because it was relevant. He'd throw it in and then he'd get off stage and he had an assistant who used to write a list of the stuff that he did that wasn't his. And then he had to get on the phone and ring everybody who was the comedian who he had stolen the joke from and apologize to them. And 9 out of 10 would go, dude, you know, you're doing my shit fantastic. I don't care.
Yeah.
But he, very complicated guy. Most comedians are very complicated people.
And ugly.
Ugly, yes. I think we've established
Yeah.
that. Yeah, absolutely. Do you concur?
No, I do not. Absolutely not.
I mean, look at me. You know.
I'm not the bad guy in this story.
No.
Okay, all right, sure.
No, exactly. I mean,
And that's not to say, I mean, I feel Morry's made me self-conscious of our opinion now, but classically attractive and, you know, conventionally attractive are very different from, you know, I'm like, fucking, I find a lot of really ugly people good looking. So.
exactly. But ugly is funny. Good looking's not funny.
Yeah.
When was the last time you laughed at somebody, apart from Friends, when was the last time you laughed at somebody who was funny? It's hard, particularly live. You need to laugh downhill.
Chris Pratt, we mentioned him earlier. He's a good-looking bloke, but he was funny when he was chubbier.
Yeah,
Maybe
exactly.
that's the thing.
You need to find a flaw in everybody.
Yeah, that's it.
That's why my on-stage persona is slightly drunk.
Yeah.
You've heard me work live.
Yeah.
It's because people go, oh my God, that poor bloke, you know. And you garner their sympathy, and then it makes everything easier.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Top tips.
Oh yeah. Follow me for more tips.
Subscribe.
Was that Spanish?
No.
No. Okay.
I don't know what it was.
All right, well, a bit of trivia now.
Okay.
So, Marty,
Yep.
I don't know if you know this.
I don't know if you know this, kids. Has it ever made you pause and think? Is it something?
In 1964, Australian javelin thrower Reg Spears, hilarious name, by the way,
ironic. Yeah.
already off to a good start, travelled from London to Perth as air freight inside a wooden box. So, buckle up, this is a crazy one. So, Spears had represented Australia in the 1962 Commonwealth Games in Perth. 2 years later, after an injury disrupted his attempt to qualify in the Tokyo Olympics, he moved to England, hoping to get on the team through the Britain team.
Yeah.
That failed. He didn't get in. So he took a job at the airport cargo section and began saving for a trip home. Then his wallet, containing all of his life savings, was stolen. He had a baby and a wife back in Adelaide, and he needed to get home for his daughter's birthday.
Oh.
So, working in cargo had taught Spears 2 useful things. Freight could be sent cash on delivery, and animals were transported by air all the time. And he decided he met these basic requirements. So his mate built him a box. It was very small, only big enough for him to like either sit up with his legs straight or lie down with his legs bent.
Wow.
And he shipped himself to a fake shoe company in Perth. He packed like tinned food and all this stuff. He had straps and pins so that he wouldn't get thrown around.
Yeah.
He went all the way. In Bombay, the crate was left upside down in direct sunlight for 4 hours. He was so hot he had to strip off and get naked, but he still didn't call for help.
No.
After 63 hours, he finally reached Perth. He heard Australian accents and he heard people complaining about how heavy the crate was, and he knew he was home. Once he was in bonded storage, he let himself out, drank a beer that he found, despite not normally drinking, found some power tools, changed into a suit and escaped the shed. He hitchhiked all the way back to Adelaide, got back for his daughter's birthday, and the airline waived the freight charge after.
Fantastic.
Then, in the 1980s, he became involved in an international drug smuggling ring and fled Australia. He was arrested in Sri Lanka and sentenced to death.
What?
But the sentence was overturned on appeal. He served 5 years in an Australian prison, and Reg Spears is still alive. He's 84 years old, but no one knows what he's up to now. So, Reg Spears, I'm going to find you and interview you on this podcast because that is crazy.
That's amazing. Wow.
Did you know in America in the early 1900s you could actually mail your children?
Oh,
You
brilliant.
could pay their postage and they would go in the mail truck
Yeah.
to the depot and then off to wherever they wanted.
Wow.
That's true.
Wow.
Yeah. Anyway, we finished?
Yeah, I mean, I'm done. I'm done with my
I
bit
don't
now.
have a funny in the moment, but
You haven't been funny in the moment this week,
I
Morry.
have been. Well, this is a call out to anyone who would like to add to it. And
I think Marty might have a funny
have
in the
one.
moment.
I'll explain what it is so he knows what. A funny in the moment and I do them in South Melbourne, and you're a resident of South Melbourne and also Albert Park, as we've heard. Funny in the moment is where you have an interaction with a stranger or maybe someone you see tacitly on the street, the local baker or the op shop owner or the bicycle repair shop, and you say something that makes them laugh. It's a funny in the moment. And, some of the cases I've done, I'm with my dog, people say, what a lovely dog. Why does it have a mullet? And I said, because it's a dog from Maurie. I've talked to the bread shop and insulted some of their staff, but in jest.
Anyway, it's about spreading joy. Right?
Spreading joy.
Do you spread joy? Do you do any
I do.
I reckon you're a joy spreader for sure.
I am.
Do you say anything to strangers in coffee shops and get a laugh and then walk out on that laugh?
Constantly.
Yeah.
Yeah, constantly. Nothing comes to mind at the moment, but I do it all the time because it's I wear funny slogans on my shirts and that sort of stuff. I love it because that's why we're on this planet. Well, from my perspective, my industry anyway, is to whether people pay for it or not, is just to brighten people's day.
Well, this isn't fun in the moment, but I have brought it up in this podcast, and it does involve you. And it was a scene, I go to MSAC, the Melbourne Sports and Aquatic Centre, and I go to the gym, and the gym overlooks the Albert Park Lake, and there is a bicycle path on that lake. And that bicycle path is often a route for yourself, Marty Fields, and your dog. Your dog's name is? Sylvie. And you will ride down that bike path with your dog and great. Keeping fit, dogs getting fit. And occasionally there will be a school bus that pulls up.
Oh, fuck, I know.
and I'm on the treadmill looking down at
this has happened a lot.
at about 40 grade 4s getting off a bus, and then you rip right through them.
Move. Look ahead. What the fuck's wrong with you? Move. Hello, miss. How are you? Move.
Zoom.
I'm shocking.
Now I know you are, and there's been a scene where I've seen the whole thing, and I know exactly who you are, and I'm a witness at this point. And half an hour later, I've gone down because my gym's finished, and I happen to walk past the bus driver who's just waiting out the front, waiting for the kids to come back or whatever. And I'll say, I saw what happened. And he goes, yeah, that man just ripped through. He's very dangerous. But you know what I do, Marty?
What?
I don't use your name.
Thank you.
I use other people's names.
Yeah,
I say, that guy's a comedian. His name is?
Gab Rossi.
Oh, whatever. I don't necessarily use Gab, but so your secret's safe.
Yeah, good.
Yes.
I have no tolerance. You know what? It's not about them being on the path. I'm happy with them being on the path. That's great. It's when they're looking at their phones and talking to each other. Look around at all times.
Yes.
Look around. And I'm like ringing my bell, I'm honking my horn, the dog's barking. You know the dog barks briskly.
Yeah.
And I'm yelling. And if I'm like 10 feet away from you, I've been yelling, ringing, honking, dog barking, and you still don't see me, dude, fuck it. You're copping a bloody front wheel to your face.
Right. Shoulder to the hip and in the pond you go. Yeah. Wow. Okay, so not funny in the moment, but at least we've solved a couple of murders.
I think that's probably wraps it up for us.
Well
hey?
done,
I
mate.
This has been fun. Thank you for inviting me.
We've learnt something, and
I don't know that you did, but you know.
Oh, definitely about the gun. That's amazing. Everything else was rubbish, but amazing.
Now, are you up to anything, Marty, aside from terrorising the students of Albert Park in South Melbourne? Is there anything you want to shout out or let people
nothing
know?
I need to plug. No, I'm at the lounge all the time, the Comics Lounge, and doing corporate work, and at the moment just sort of moving house and trying to get a renovation done, which is dominating my mind, and working on my stuff for 3AW, which is fun. It's all about sort of things you didn't know.
Yeah.
Love that.
Yeah, it's great. And I keep myself busy. I mean, I'm 65 and I think I'm fitter than most.
Yes.
And I like to keep well. I like to drink. I don't smoke. Just find something that makes you happy, fulfills you, and do it.
This week in philosophy.
Yeah, salient. Well, we'll link the Lost Dogs home, I think, definitely, for people to have
I do
a
a
look
lot
at.
of work with them. They're great. They
that's
do
awesome.
great work.
Fantastic. Well, Marty Fields, thank you very much.
No.
You've been on
This week in comedy.
Do you validate that?
How would you cook that?
Be more entertaining. I'm glad you like that. I just did a little bit of weed.